Hi, friend, and welcome. I'm Marilee. Thank you for joining my podcast, Express Light. I believe we each have a unique gift and ability. Being created by nature, I have the desire to start my own business, and I know firsthand how important it is to blend creativity and business together. It has not always been easy for me, but I have successfully built my boutique serving people from all over the world. Because of my experience, I am passionate about helping others like myself who are looking to express light in their own lives through their gift, skill, or talent, and make a living doing it. If that's you, tune in each week as I provide tips, interview those who are successful in their craft, as well as share enlightening stories of how to build a business as a creative entrepreneur. Welcome to Express Light. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is Marilee. Thanks for joining me on Express Light. Today, I am with Gissel Arce, and she's in Southern California. She and I met when we went to a limitless adventure in Newport, California. We connected. We hit it right off. She's a super sweet gal. She has a lot of experience in HR, and she's also in transition mode herself from going from working for a traditional job to transitioning to work for herself. And her heart is for anyone who's in that position. She has the background knowledge. She's dealt with a lot of people. She's super friendly and super kind. So Gissel, I'm excited for you to introduce yourself to my listeners. Tell me a little bit about your background, how you got into what you do and why you love it, and your heart for wanting to help others do the same.
It's a pleasure to be on this podcast. It's my first podcast with anyone ever, so I'm really excited. And yes, it was great to meet you at this event and connect with you. Thank you for inviting me to your podcast. It's a pleasure and it's an honor to be on here with you and everyone that listens to your podcast.
Absolutely. So excited to have you here today.
A little bit of my background is my both of my families have always been entrepreneurs. Um, my mom owned a business all her life. Before I was born, she owned a beauty salon, cosmetology. So I grew up pretty much in a business, being part of the business life, being part of people working and exchanging skills for money and having fun doing it and enjoying what they do. I really admire my mom, because this having a beauty salon is a very dedicated uh, job. You can go from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and the beauty never stops coming. So
True.
it's a very dedicated work. You can always expand also and have more people that work for you, but when you are good at something, and I have found myself doing this, like when I like a place where they serve me well, where they treat me well, where they smile at me,
Right.
as soon as I walk into the door, I find myself coming back to those places.
Hmm.
And it's just that place, even if the coffee could not be that great, but it's just that one person giving me the service that I love, and I will still return to that business
It
just
is
for that
so
one
true.
little reason. So I started in HR at 18 years old. It was something that I was offered in like straight out of high school, and
Well,
it was a recruiting company. First, they sent me out to work. When my first boss, her name is Clarice Nielsen, she was an amazing entrepreneur. I worked with her 10 years. I really admire this woman. She was the one that called me the first time and said, "Hey, we found your resume and we would like for you to come in for an interview. Our office is here." And I had seen that office. 18 years old, straight out of high school, not much experience. I worked for a beauty salon receptionist background because I had done that, answering phones, filing, working cash. That was on my background already after high school. So this woman called me and she says, "We have an interview for you." And I was so excited because this was going to be my first office job. And my dream was to work for an office. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna work for an office. I had no clue what the office was.
Yeah, it's
What
crazy when you're younger, like just the perspective you have of a career. It's like, oh, it's going to be this exciting thing. And then you realize it's work.
Yes. So I was so happy that this woman called me and said, we have an office, we have an administrator position. I said, oh my God, this is amazing. So I get there and I'm like, oh my God, this is an office. This is people come in here, we do the paperwork. My initial thought of like office work was like, oh, I'm just going to be doing paperwork. Like, I'm not going to be standing in a chair, cutting anyone's hair. I'm gonna be on my own desk, doing my paperwork, and just being me in my office. That was my idea. And she called me. Ends up that it's a job position for a pharmaceutical sterilizing company that was in the process of moving, and they gave me. I was an assistant to the main lady, the director of like the research, and it was a lot of detail because the sterilization of the products were going out to hospitals. So we had to check temperatures, parameters, times, very detailed information. It was a 3 month assignment initially. After that 3 month assignment, the lady said, you know what, we're all done with this project. And the original lady that called me, Clarice Nielsen, she said, well, do you want to come work for us? Do you want to work here? We have a lady that's leaving. Do you want to work for us? And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I thought that I was getting hired for your office.
Yeah.
I thought I was getting hired for you.
They saw your
So
talent.
yeah, and it was just one of those that it just happened for me. Like the lady liked me. I was eager to learn and no experience, zero experience. So this is one little key point that I tell people. When someone is hiring you, if they see that you're willing to learn, that you enjoy the environment of that place, they're willing to teach you. Like, you don't have to be scared of, oh, but I don't have any experience, or it's not on my resume. I don't have my degree yet. And I feel like nowadays a lot of people get stuck because they feel that they're not there yet, and not even give themselves an opportunity to say, hey, well, maybe I can learn. Like, maybe somebody is willing to show me their skills and their experience. And yeah, you might not be paid as high as somebody that's experienced, but hey, that experience is worth much more.
Exactly. We have this passion and this love, and sometimes you have a hobby and a craft or something that you totally love doing, and you're kind of scared to venture out in it. It's the same thing just getting a job in general, but the root of it really is doing what you love and what you're passionate about and going after it and not being scared to do that. Don't be afraid to ask the questions. Don't be afraid to address people. If you love a certain direction, put yourself in there, because if you're teachable, you're so right. Like, you can learn to start off on your own venture. You can learn to work for somebody. You have the skills. Really, it comes down to people connection. Like, when you have, a really good connection with the person that you are wanting to learn from as an apprentice, or if you really have a good connection in a community because of your skill, don't be afraid to go after the customer. Don't be afraid to go after the career, whatever it is that you're interested in. So I agree 100%. So, like, I know because of HR, you have some fun and interesting stories, and I would love to maybe just get a couple of those for insight, and then also some tips. Like, say somebody is wanting to get a job and they're going after that job that they're looking for, or say somebody is trying to hire. Maybe you can kind of give a couple of different role plays or perspectives in that regard.
Yeah, well, I mean, so many things that happen, and you have to be very private when you're in HR, because we have people coming in with different problems from different departments, and there's different functions to each department that it's always going to clash with somebody else's department. But one thing that I would say to them, to the people in all of our companies, all the companies, I've worked for nonprofit organizations, I've worked for regular corporations, and I've worked for independent companies. It's all the same thing.
Mhm.
It's no matter how big the company is. Um, Most importantly is that we remember what the focus is, like what we're here to do daily.
Mhm.
We're here to provide a service. We're here to make the best product. We're here to, depending what your company does, provide the best merchandise and always keep that one focus, like what we are here to do here in this place. And I apply that to myself everywhere I go. Like,
Mhm.
what am I here to do in this place right now? Am I here to have a good time? Am I here to learn? Am I here to work out and fully dedicate 100% to
Right.
that moment and that place?
It really comes down to giving. When you're giving of yourself, then you're going to have people surround you, whether it's, employers saying, hey, I see somebody who's willing to give that 110%, or customers who are saying, hey, I'm interested in your product because I can tell that you care not only about me, but about the product that you're offering, as well, and that you're going to bring in quality. And so, I mean, that's something that I look for sure, not only in somebody that I'm hiring, but also the products that I bring in, because I support a lot of local artists or handcrafted items, and they just they are set apart from the run of the mill manufacturers, just a different quality about it. So I would say the same thing when it comes to the individual, like when you love what you do and when you put 110% into what you do, it's going to shine in your product. It's going to shine in your work ethic, and people are going to take note. So it's so true.
And another thing that I would say to employers would be sometimes we want to find the specific skill that we're looking for in a piece of paper,
Mhm.
but and I've seen this with other people, other departments, and I've been in recruiting companies also where we are all recruiters and we're going through resumes and resumes and resumes.
Mhm.
One thing that I would do, let's say that I was looking for an administrative, or I've hired from for different departments, everything from production lines, mechanics, assembly, to the administrative, to the executives. All the positions are the same. It's just a
Mhm.
different skill that the person is providing. But one thing that I would say is just because you don't see it on that paper, on that resume, does not mean that the person hasn't done it. Because what happens is you go through different jobs, different transitions in life, and not everybody's worried about their resume. A lot of us were not fully dedicated to a resume,
Mhm.
even though it's necessary to update here and there, but there are going to be things that are missing.
Right.
uh, Maybe someone did a has their own personal skill and it's not on their resume because they don't feel that that's something that should be on a resume for this position. But what if that skill was important to that employer, but because both of you don't know that it's important, then nobody knows it's there.
Right. And I
And
think really that's kind of on the employer side, like you're saying, to draw out their best strengths. And I think when you as an employer are putting 110% into your staff, you're going to recognize their strengths more. You're going to, you're not looking at the company for, or the individual for how they can benefit your company. You're looking at the staff and how you guys can grow together. And that's what makes the company really. It's the people and it's the product, obviously. But to me as an employer, I would love to bring somebody on who really doesn't have, I mean, I don't need the bells and whistles. I just want the people skills, because the people skills, when they give 110%, that's where they are teachable. You right off the bat, you see that. And I think that's where you can develop somebody for your craft and your business and your product. And that's what really ultimately makes the customer sale too. So,
one thing that I always look for when hiring, I would say, just be honest with me. Are you a responsible person? Can you show up to work? Like,
right.
I don't chasing you. I don't want to be calling you like, hey, where are you? Like, this is a job. Like, this is a business. We're here to show up. We're here to provide a service, and we need you. Like, we need you.
Right.
Some companies, some supervisors will, get that in their hair, like, oh, well, I don't need you. I can just call the agency and we'll hire somebody else. But the reality is, it just makes it harder for everyone around.
Right.
The agency, for the supervisors, for the production, for the shipping, for the receiving. One person missing, it's important. It's important to value that. So
So
being responsible and having a good attitude.
100%, so true. And that comes down to that 110%, like you're talking. So I know that we talked about you've been in HR, but you're also in the transition point where you are wanting to transition into your own career of helping entrepreneurs do the same. And if you're looking at someone with all your HR background and they're saying, I'm stuck in my corporate job and I'm not sure how to venture off into what I really love doing, what would you tell them?
Where they're feeling stuck, that's very common, and that's a great question. It's very common for a lot of people to be unsatisfied with the work that they do.
Mhm.
I've been there, for the most part, I would say maybe like a few times, and it wasn't the job, it wasn't the work, it was the people I was working with.
Right.
Something that would be the little edge that's like, I just, like, I love this place, I love what I do, I love my work, but the people sometimes, like the attitudes, or sometimes a lot of us get our sense of worth from our work and what we do, so we feel like we are that person, that we
Right.
have to be for that role. But we're more than that. We're more than just a supervisor, a manager. We're more than that. But I feel like when you get into that role, just of limited role of, I'm just here to do this work and that's it. No, you know. But what I would say to someone that's maybe in a transition where they're not happy with what they're doing is, you know what? First of all, we have to be grateful.
Mhm.
Uh, keep the gratitude in mind, and no matter what the situation is, let's be grateful. Like, I woke up and I'm able to come to this job, even if it's not the best place that I want to be, but I'm grateful that I'm here because it's providing for me right now. And I got myself here. Like, really, I came here. I woke up by choice and I walked into this place and I clocked in by choice, because
Exactly.
I could have made the choice to say, you know what, I am done with this. I am not returning. I'll figure it out. I'll go another round. But yet, you still showed up to that one place that you're complaining about. So, first of all, let's be grateful. Let's be grateful, even if you're not happy in that moment. And as you start to feel grateful for, like, you know what, I'm here, this place is providing for me right now, I know there's something better for me. One would be just to change our attitude. That's the number one thing, because if we want more, we always have to be grateful for what we have right now, so that more can always come our way. And
Yes.
not only, um, so that more can come our way, just so that our mind can be less stuck on that, I'm not satisfied.
Mhm.
Satisfied, let's be grateful, and start exploring. I would say, okay, you don't like this place, but what are you doing that's good here? What's your skill? What are you doing? What do you do that you feel that provides something to a company? And start researching within, really, within your own soul, like, what do I really want? Where do I really see myself?
And I think too, looking for your strengths of your past, you've worked for certain places, or, maybe you have a specific skill that your employer values too. Is that something that you can hone as a career? Like you have a wealth of knowledge of HR and all your history. So for any company that is looking to transition or just wants business advice, you have a wealth of knowledge to help. And I would say the same thing to anyone else, that if they're looking and they have a skill or a hobby or craft that they're interested in, and they've never really taken off with that as a career, don't shy away from that. Because if it's something that you really love and you have skill in it, if you put the gumption and the give and that gratitude all together, like you said, it's going to light a fire and people are going to notice, that you have a gift, and that's what's going to draw your business. And, even if you don't have the answers when it comes to the legalities of how to set a business up or how to get started, putting product into stores or, selling whatever skill that you have, there's so much advice just even on Google or YouTube, or, call up your local chamber or your local small business association. There are companies out there that have knowledge and have wisdom. So get in line with coaches. There's coaches out there. I'm one. So get out there with people that do have the information and the small tips that can help you learn from these people for sure. So,
And I don't know if you want to share, but like I loved your story from the writer's jackets, how you started that yourself. Like that was just sort of creativity and art for your own self, and it became something bigger.
that
So
is my background. And I have, I've shared that a little bit, but my story is basically I started as a mom who saw a need for my kids. And then that turned into people asking me where I got the skill. I didn't really have that skill. I just explored it and I had a passion for it. So as you're exploring that skill, you get more gifted in it because you're practicing it basically. So the harder you work toward what you love, the better you're going to get at it. And then when you get better at it, people notice. And then when you see the opportunity, well, more opportunity comes along with that. So
yeah,
just a small step, one step at a time, and take the passion that you love and do your best with it. So,
absolutely, I love it. I love that. I think that's what one thing that bonded us even more, because I loved your jacket so much. I love them.
well, one of these days I'll get you a little custom one. How's that? So,
Yes, I will get one soon.
well, Gissel, thank you so much for joining me today. You are such a delight, and I'm sure we'll have you back because I know you have things in the works for next year, and I'm excited to get an update as those progress. So, have an amazing day. I know you're in a busy situation right now. We got lots going on behind you. I forgot to tell listeners that she's in a public spot, so you're going to hear background noise, but no big deal. We still hear you, and we heard all your amazing tips. So thank you, and I will see you next time. Thank you, Gissel.
Thank you, Marilee. It's been a pleasure speaking with you and sharing with your listeners. And keep listening, keep growing, keep having a good attitude, and everything is possible. Everything that you can dream of is possible, and we can make it happen. We see people doing it, and let's make that our own. If we don't have the confidence in the moment, let's adopt somebody else's confidence and say, hey, if they did it, we can do it too.
So true. And one last thing I forgot to mention. If somebody wanted to get in touch with you, had some questions for you, wanted to work with you, is there a contact where they can reach you out on social media, or any kind of contact information that you want to give them?
Yes, absolutely. I'm just recently opened up my Instagram, so anyone that would like to contact me or have any questions, I'd be glad to connect with anyone from your listeners. So my Instagram is Gissel Arce G.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you so much. And I will touch back with you soon when I get more tips on how all this is going for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Marilee.
Talk to you
Take
later.
care.